Hi everyone, I hope you've had time to settle into our class, and I just wanted to take a few moments and comment on the textbook readings and talk a little bit about your goals assignment and your resume assignment as well. But before I do that, I wanted to give you folks kind of an idea about this class as a whole. English 311 is what's called a pre-designed course. And this is not something that certainly Dave put together on his own. There are a lot of folks who spend a great deal of time putting together all the material in this class. And the whole idea is to make sure you folks have the most positive learning experience possible, and that you can take the things that you're learning from this class and apply them to future classes that you have. Many of you may be wrapping up your degrees here shortly. That's great. But even more importantly, that you can take this material that you've learned here in this class and apply it to your professional goals for the future. So this is a course that has been put together by instructional designers, instructors like myself. I did have some input in this class too, the department coordinator. So there are a lot of people who have worked together to put together all of this course material and make this as practical and beneficial for you folks as possible. So I just wanted to preface my comments to let you know that this is not all Dave's class, certainly by any means. This is something that is a collaborative effort with a lot of time, with a lot of experience put into this course to make sure that you gain the maximum benefits possible. So with that, I do want to encourage all of you folks to make sure and do the textbook readings. There's a great deal of information that I think will be very helpful to you from the readings that you can take and integrate into each one of the assignments that you have to do every week. And for this week, I just want to make a couple of brief comments. If you look at the first few chapters that we've assigned, it's basically an overview of technical communication and how important it is in the world of work today. And when I look at the reading assignments as a whole, and I'll try and integrate some of my insights into each one of these reading assignments for the weeks. But when I look at all of these chapters combined together, a couple things really stand out to me. First of all, technical communication, professional correspondence is not for us as the writers. The whole idea behind this correspondence that we put together is to benefit other people. So we need to think about our audience, think about the folks who will be receiving our correspondence, and make sure that we're providing them with all the information they need. It needs to be user-friendly information in language that they can understand and use and apply to whatever problem needs to be addressed, or the information that they need to perform their jobs to successfully contribute to the organizations that we function within. So that's one thing that really stood out to me from the reading. The other aspect that really hit me, and I think this is important as well, we tend to think of technical writing as a profession in general. And yes, there are actual careers, there are positions with the title technical writing attached to them, but really technical writing or professional correspondence goes far beyond those specific roles and really applies to most every professional position that's out there. And I think that's important to realize that all of us as professionals will be engaged in some type of professional correspondence and composing memos and procedures and contracts and documents of that nature on a daily basis. Because folks, I have never had the title technical writer in my 25-year career, and yet in every position that I've held, every professional position I've held, I have spent probably half of my day at least involved in some type of professional correspondence, whether it's emails, whether it's putting together procedures or work instructions, whether it's writing contracts. It's an ongoing day-to-day activity, and it's rolled into most every professional role you folks will be engaged in the future. So the more comfortable that we become with writing, the better we're able to express ourselves and reach out to our audiences, the better off we're going to be. And it's a great way to kind of set ourselves apart from other candidates for future positions if we have good writing skills, because companies need that desperately. So I just wanted to pass that information on to you. And really, I talked to my NC class here recently about how I view good, effective technical communication. If I had to sum it up, I call this the 3 C's of effective technical communication. And those 3 C's are, first of all, is complete, second is concise, and third, it's correct. So we need to have all of the information necessary for our audience to be able to respond and react to the information that we're giving to them. So we need to give some good forethought into making sure we've covered every specific element of whatever issue we need to address in our correspondence. Second, we need to find a way to trim that down into as few words as possible. It needs to be very concise, because people are extremely busy today. They don't have time to sift through a huge message trying to figure out what they're supposed to do to react to the particular issue we're addressing in our correspondence. So we need to make sure that we trim all the fat out and we get our message across as clearly and as concisely as possible. And then finally, this kind of ties into what the text is referring to as the importance of editing and proofreading and making sure that our documents are correct and professional and a good representation of us as professionals, because we want to make sure that we're passing on the right information to our teams and to our organizations. So those are really if I had to sum up good, effective correspondence, that's the way I describe it. And looking here, I just want to talk a little bit about the goals and the resumes assignment that we have for this week, because when I looked at all of your goals, folks, and overall you have some very fine goals, and this is a mistake I make as well. I made sure to give all of you full credit if you put the effort into establishing goals and providing some details on those goals. So if you did that, I gave you full credit for the assignment. But here's a common mistake that I saw in every one of the goals that were submitted, and this is a mistake I make too, so I'm pointing the finger at myself also, and that's being specific on the goals and how we're going to accomplish them. And I think that's just a general trait that all of us have. We like to be general and non-committal in the writing that we do or in the goals that we establish. But when we do that, there's a real good chance we're not going to achieve our goals. So we not only have to establish good goals, we need to develop a plan and provide specifics on how we're going to achieve those goals. So for example, if one of my goals is to not miss any of the due dates on the assignments, well then, how am I specifically going to achieve that? I might say I'm going to print out the course calendar and make sure that I dedicate at least 2 hours per day to my assignments, and that all assignments will be submitted per the due dates that are listed on the calendar. So that's a little more specific on how I'm going to accomplish those goals, and I think that's an important concept to consider as you're putting together not just your goals, but look at all future assignments. When we make a general statement, it's very important that we back up those general statements with some specifics, with some facts, with some data, with some examples. So I'll be looking for that in the future documents that you'll be producing for this class. So kind of a forewarning on your goals assignment, I was not real critical in that respect, but as we go along in this class, I will be looking for specifics whenever a general statement is made to back up the ideas that you have. Just want to close real quickly with the resumes and just comment on the ones I've seen so far. I like what I see. If you want to take a look at a couple of resumes that I posted as well, I put those in the discussion forum for this week, so feel free to take a look at those resumes and use them if you'd like to in the future. I've had some good overall responses from employers, and notice too especially how I have my resumes tailored to the specific positions that I'm seeking to achieve. So if I'm going after a supply chain position, I've got a resume set up just for that really focuses more on my experience in that particular field. For teaching positions, I've got my resume tailored a little bit differently, and I'm focusing more on my educational credentials and my teaching experience as well, and I'm highlighting just my professional aspects in a kind of a marginal way. So take a look at the way I've approached both of those resumes, and if you want to use some of the ideas I've been successful with, feel free to use those in your resumes as well. So folks, I'm looking forward to your cover letters coming up here soon, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you in the discussion forums throughout the remainder of this week. Also, make sure to enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Summer's winding down, so make sure you have a good holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you later.